All right, y'all. So this next video is about 30, 60, 90 triangles. And remember, those 30, 60, and 90 are also the angle measurements. So these are triangles that have a 90-degree angle, a 60-degree angle, and a 30-degree angle. And if I have that triangle, then the sides are in the ratio of 1 to 2 to the square root of 3. And again, we're also going to see dilations of this triangle. If the hypotenuse, or excuse me, if the short leg is 1, that means this is the short leg. This is the hypotenuse, and this is the long leg. If the short leg is 1, then the hypotenuse is 2, and the long leg is the square root of 3. There's also an understood 1 in front of our radical. So anytime we know our short leg, I can use that information to find my long leg and my hypotenuse. I can also write my proportion like this, where I've got x, 2x, and x square roots of 3. And I want to, before we get too deep into these examples, I want to see if we can figure out the process for finding out the legs, or the long leg and the hypotenuse given the short leg. So if I'm starting from my short leg, I'm going to put this over here. Short leg to hypotenuse. We are going to multiply by 2. My short leg is 1. My hypotenuse is always twice that value. So if my short leg was 6, my hypotenuse would be 12. If my short leg was 15, my hypotenuse would be 30. So anytime we know our short leg, we can multiply by 2 to get my hypotenuse. If I know my short leg, I can also find my long leg. So if I want to find my long leg, short leg to long leg, we're going to multiply by the square root of 3. So I'm just basically going to just tack on a square root of 3 to my long leg. So if my short leg was 7, my long leg would be 7 square roots of 3. Wherever that number changes, wherever that x changes, that's what's going to go there. There's not really a process for going from my long leg to my hypotenuse, or from my hypotenuse to my long leg. So we want to go through the short leg as kind of a middleman. You're probably going to need to find that short leg anyway, so it's easier to just find that and then use that to find our other missing side. But what if we don't know our short leg? If I'm given my hypotenuse or I'm given my long leg, I can actually go backwards and divide instead. So just like I went backwards here, from leg to hypotenuse I multiplied, then from hypotenuse to leg I divided by that same number. I can do the same thing here. So if I need to go backwards, we're going to divide instead of multiply. But we're going to be multiplying or dividing by the same numbers. I'll point that out more when we get into these examples here. Okay, so this number 4, this is just a basic problem. We're starting with our short leg. So if I'm given my short leg, I want to find my hypotenuse. Starting from my short leg, I want to know my hypotenuse. And that is pretty easy to do. I just need to multiply by 2. So my short leg is 7, my hypotenuse is going to be 14. If I'm starting from my short leg and I want to know my long leg, I need to multiply by the square root of 3. So 7 multiplied by the square root of 3 becomes 7 square roots of 3. Number 5 works pretty similarly, but in this case, we're starting from our long leg. And I don't have a process going directly from long leg to short leg, but I can go backwards using this process. So instead of multiplying by a square root of 3, I'm going to divide by the square root of 3. My long leg is 4 square roots of 3. So my short leg should be 4 square roots of 3 divided by the square root of 3. And those things cancel, so I'm just left with 4. Now that I have my short leg, I can multiply by 2 to get my my hypotenuse, and that would be 8. In this last example, we're given our hypotenuse, and I need to go backwards to find my short leg. So instead of multiplying by 2, I'm going to divide by 2. My short leg is 5. That means my long leg is 5 square roots of 3.